friends. It's Julie with Life Builders, bringing you simple tips to build a strong and healthy life on. I'm sorry I'm a tad late this morning. You can see why. Anyway, with my wet hair and all that. But I hope you guys are having a great morning. It is Friday. Woo, 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 woo. I'm so happy. Yay. Comments from the peanut gallery. It's Friday. I can't believe 2 weeks from today, Miranda will be graduating high school. That's insane. Good morning, Jody, my oldest. Some people think I only have one daughter because only one daughter appears on the videos, but I actually have two, and one of them is about to graduate from high school. So anyway, good morning, Heather Ann. Good morning, Stacy. Great to see you guys. So here is a profound statement. What you will be in 5 years is determined by what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're listening to right now. That's a true statement. Whatever you're putting inside your brain, I love our Pastor Joseph recently said, whatever you soak in gets in. And so whatever you're putting in your brain right now, good morning, Heidi, great to see you. Whatever you're putting in your brain right now is going to be, you're going to be the sum and the product of all of that in 5 years. So when people ask me, why are you all about reading? I'm all about reading because, we might never have the chance to sit down with, John Maxwell or Tony Robbins or Simon Sinek or all these people who are thought leaders, and even the people who have died a long time ago, but their books resonate through the years and through the centuries. We might never have a chance to sit down with them in person and have lunch and ask them, hey, what do you think about this? But when we read their books, we can still get inside their heads and learn something. And so reading is so important. Good morning, Mia. And in our house, we're big readers. We do a lot of read aloud. We're reading aloud the Little House on the Prairie series right now. We just started it. And it's pretty cool. I've never gotten into it, so I'm hoping I will this time. We just finished Chronicles of Narnia, this series, which was phenomenal. If you've never read it, you should. I cried so many times. You're like, really? It was so moving and powerful. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you real quick one tip. I know you guys are all getting ready to get Bottle Rock in here in Napa. Bottle Rock is Napa's hugest music festival, and so there's Maroon 5 and a lot of different people going this morning. Good morning. Good morning, Erica. There's a lot of different bands coming. I can't remember how many, but a bunch. So everybody here is ready to get to Bottle Rock. I'm not going, but I hope all of you have a wonderful time and safe time. So the tip for today, I read this about a year ago. No, it was the beginning of this year, I'm sorry, and it really changed the way that I read and changed the way that I retain my reading. Have you ever had this experience where you read something and then you want to go back later, but you can't find it in your books? Do you mark your books? I do. Mine are all marked up. I was just looking at my book this morning that I was like, this would be like a page that I open to right now. So mine are totally marked up. I don't know if yours are, but I don't know how I know you can mark on a Kindle, but I'm reading Little House on the Prairie on the Kindle, and I'm like, oh man, I miss marking in my books. So this is what my books look like. They're all marked up. But, you have that situation where you go back and you're like, oh, what was that quote I wanted? Or where was that example of beautiful writing that I wanted to find? And this is called Tools of Titans. This was a book from Tim Ferriss, and what he basically did was he went in and interviewed all these kind of titans of their industries and thought leaders and stuff like that. And so it's 2 and 3 pages interviews, and it's 700 pages, and there's so much good little tips in here that I struggle because now there's so many things I want to remember, and I can't figure out who said it and I got to read the whole book again. But one of the things he said that really struck me was he gave this tip, and the tip was, you want to remember what you're reading, then you are going to make your own index. I don't know, you guys might do this. I had never heard of it before, but I thought it was a brilliant idea. So what you do is you take one of those couple of blank pages at the back of the book, and then as something comes up to you that you're like, wow, I really want to remember this. So I mark, for me, I mark good writing that I want to remember. I mark phrases that I want to remember, quotes that I want to remember. And then what I do is in the back, I will go and make this index, my own index. So for instance, this one has, I'll just tell you the categories that I made: writing tips, interview tips, dealing with offenses, success, death, physical exercises, truly living, priorities, focus, expecting people to understand you, gratitude, being busy, reading and books, cooking, speaking. It can be anything. Benefits of nature. TED Talks to watch. I wrote that down because there were so many that he shared. Dealing with insults, conflict resolution, good questions, business questions, standing out from the crowd, blah, 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 doing the right thing. So this is a great book to do this in, but the funny thing is I do it on all my books. So this was Atlas Shrugged, and as you guys know, Atlas Shrugged is a fictional book. But I went through it and I wrote down, this is my little index here of things I wanted to remember. Let's see. No one shall succeed alone, accusation of greed, entrepreneurial spirit, selfishness, avoiding personal responsibility, the copper guy at the party, like his discourse, I really liked it, so I wrote it down. Lousy jobs, making time, media, descriptive writing. Okay, so descriptive writing, like I wrote the paragraphs that I really loved. Metaphors, I wrote the metaphors that I really liked. And then on the metaphors page, when you turn to it, I have a marking that's right next to it. So this one says 36, page 36. Let's see what it says. Oops. 36. So right here I put MP next to it, and I put, these were the things that had come to white heat, had melted and fused within him, and their alloy was a strange quiet feeling that made him smile at the countryside in the darkness and wonder why happiness could hurt. And I just liked the metaphor that they used there. And then, so like this is Man's Search for Meaning, and this is his memoirs of being at the concentration camp. So in this one I have what we can control, working for success, religion, love, art, nature, humor, suffering, joy, perspective, death, anger, mental reactions to being degraded, future past, opportunities to grow, hard times, hope, and why, suicide, speech, kindness, freedom, tension, encouraging others, and anxieties and fears. So basically, I just took and wrote down the parts that I wanted to remember. Good morning. One of your favorite books, which one? Atlas Shrugged or Man's Search for Meaning, Heather Ann? So yeah, it's such a great idea to remember what you want to remember from the book. So you guys, find one of those blank pages. This is the reading tip for today. Find one of those blank pages at the front or the back and create your own index of the topics that interest you, that you want to go back and visit, and then mark them on the page. Man's Search for Meaning, yes. If you haven't read this book, Man's Search for Meaning, you need to read it. I was thinking maybe we should all read it together. It is one of the most powerful books I've read, and I want to do a book review about this very soon because I was thinking about it this morning. One of the things I love that he talks in this book is about suffering. And how when you're suffering and life brings you suffering, sometimes the only thing that you can do with dignity is endure the suffering, and how like some people are able to endure suffering with dignity and some people are not, and sometimes in some of the cases that he lists in here, the most beautiful thing that people did was die with dignity intact and integrity intact. And I was thinking about that this morning because sometimes, you know, we're going through seasons of suffering, and it's like, how do we handle this suffering? How do we deal with that? So Heather Ann, I completely agree with you. This book really impacted me in a huge way, and I think you all should read it. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Let me know what you're doing. And if you're going to Bottle Rock, be safe. I know last year they had free Uber rides, but I'm not sure. Okay, yes, she said it's been 10 years since I read it. Let me know when you read it. I'd love to read it with you. You guys, we should read this book next month. Let's all get it, and we'll read it next month. Maybe July, because June is coming up really soon. Anyway, all right, I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. May your minds be fierce, especially because you're reading a lot, and your spirit, your heart strong, and your spirit very kind. Love you all. Bye.